Penguin Random House Audio presents The Ultimate Guide to Raising a Puppy. How to Train and Care for Your New Dog. This is the author, Victoria Stilwell. For our beloved Sadie. Preface. My beautiful big brown dog lifts up her wise old head and looks at me with kind, loving eyes. These two intensely dark pools have seen 16 years of life, a long time for a dog, and as I gaze into them, I recall all the wonderful memories we've had together. Summer days exploring the North Georgia mountains, family birthday celebrations, and winter nights spent in front of the fire. Those eyes have seen our family grow through the years, witnessing the good times and commiserating with the hard ones. Sadie has been with us every step of the way. She's the rock we can always depend on to lighten our load, to greet us warmly when we come home from work, and to give us love. Sadie came into our lives when she was 5 years old, a gentle girl who seemed wise beyond her years. She is a calm dog in the house and a wild huntress outside. She sees the world through her magnificent nose and is driven by secret odors that lead her on intense investigations I wish I could understand. Sadie knows the neighborhood news before I do. She knows what dogs have passed by, what animals have been in the area, and who has been jogging that morning. If I could speak her language, I know we would gossip for hours. I didn't know Sadie when she was a puppy, but I can only imagine how beautiful she was. Sadie lived with an elderly lady who had recently lost her husband. The family hoped to ease their mother's loneliness by getting her a companion, and even though an energetic, excitable Labrador puppy was not necessarily the best idea for an elderly person, what Sadie lacked in exercise and social experiences with other dogs, she got back 100-fold in love. Scarlett raised Sadie for 5 years until Scarlett sadly passed away. A week later, a trainer friend of mine, Joyce Hagan, brought the gorgeous chocolate Labrador to our house to see if we wanted to adopt her. Sadie never left. I have no doubt that Scarlett's love and kindness in those important puppy and adolescent years makes Sadie so good with people, just as I'm certain that Sadie's lack of canine social experiences makes her uncomfortable around other dogs. I see a lot of her past by watching her behavior in the present, but I wish I could have been there at the beginning when my beautiful girl came into the world. I can only imagine what she was like as a puppy, cheeky, inquisitive, energetic, loving, impulsive. She must have brought such joy to everyone. I wish I had known her then and stolen 5 more years with the best dog in the world. Sadie is one of the reasons I'm writing this book. I want to explore what she must have been like as a puppy, and in doing so take you on a journey into your puppy's world. So I'm going back in time to where Sadie started out on her amazing journey 16 years ago. Introduction. Puppies. We all love them, but along with those cute faces and wiggly tails comes a whole host of challenges that make raising a puppy as overwhelming as it is joyful. With so much available but conflicting information out there, it can be very hard for pet parents to know what advice to follow. Where should I get my puppy from? How will I get him to sleep through the night? How long does it take to toilet train my puppy? What is the difference between puppy nipping and biting? How can I successfully introduce a new pup to my kids? I answer these questions and many more throughout this book, but I also focus on something that is just as important. I call it the how and the why. Understanding how your puppy experiences the world and why she behaves in a certain way will help you raise her correctly. So while this book is a practical support system and a go-to source of information when you're up in the middle of the night wondering how to get your whining puppy to go to sleep, or when you're on your knees cleaning up the latest accident, it also helps you understand just how incredible your puppy is. Yes, raising a puppy is challenging. But these challenges are worth it when you hold that bundle of energy in your arms and feel such love that your heart might explode. The Ultimate Guide to Raising a Puppy is with you every step of the way. My story. I have a passion for dogs and have always been fascinated by their behavior. As a member of an enormous international dog-loving club, I live with and celebrate these incredible animals every day. I'm constantly amazed by the fact that dogs are the most successful domestic species on the planet and have successfully evolved with humans over thousands of years. This is an incredible achievement on both sides. Humans have adapted to having dogs in their lives, and we have honed the skills of these effective predators in many different ways. But while we congratulate ourselves for making such a beneficial alliance, we also need to respect the journey made by the dog, which is nothing short of remarkable. Dogs have gone from hunting and fending for themselves to sharing our beds and eating our food. They don't speak our language or understand most of our rules, but they still manage to adapt to our complicated lives. Humans are not easy to live with, but dogs, for the most part, successfully negotiate the challenges we give them. I've been a dog trainer and behavior consultant for 20 years, starting out in some of what I still believe are the toughest environments for dogs to live in, the cities of London and New York. Relocating to the United States from the UK was a big leap for me in many respects. But the challenges I faced training puppies and adult dogs in a city that only allows dogs off-leash in cramped dog runs or in Central Park before 9 a.m. meant that I worked with dogs that not only were incredibly frustrated and reactive, but had developed a whole host of anxieties exacerbated by city living. Noise phobias, space issues, separation distress, aggressive behavior toward people and other dogs, touch sensitivities, destructive chewing, and incessant barking, to name but a few. But for all its faults, Manhattan can also be the best place to have a dog. The city might be an overwhelming assault on all the senses, but it's a delicious smorgasbord of ever-changing smells that provide countless hours of wonder for nose-driven dogs. Teaching dogs to focus on streets crowded with people, sirens and horns blaring every few minutes, and a myriad of distracting smells from garbage, human waste, and city rats, taught me to be very patient and provided ample opportunity to work with many different and complex canine behavior issues in an unforgiving environment. I loved the challenge of working with my canine and human clients in the city, but because of the difficult environment we all lived in, I focused a lot of my time on teaching methods that would prevent behavior problems from occurring in the first place. Techniques designed to instill coping skills and therefore confidence in adults could also be used to great effectiveness with puppies. New Yorkers don't worry about the size of their living spaces, and Great Danes live as comfortably in one-bedroom apartments as pugs and Yorkshire Terriers. These dogs benefit from a lot more attention, it seems, than dogs in the suburbs, because at a minimum, their human caregivers have to take them outside to toilet 3 to 4 times a day. It was easy for my puppy clients to become house-trained quickly with well-crafted schedules and diligent care. These puppies didn't seem to mind the hustle and bustle of a busy city and enjoyed the constant attention received from inquisitive dogs and passers-by. The city itself seemed to offer the perfect stress inoculation, with daily exposure that naturally taught the pups to cope well in social situations. Raising a puppy in New York City was not as difficult as I had first feared. In late 2004, I created a TV show called It's Me or the Dog that became very popular around the world and took over my life for 8 seasons, filmed over 10 years. Because of the success of the show and the subsequent platform it provided, I was able to get the message out about a more humane way of teaching puppies and dogs of all breeds, drives, and with all kinds of behavior problems. Then, a chance meeting with an experienced canine handler from the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Canine Unit in Georgia led me into the world of police canine. I had already worked with accelerant detection canines, or arson dogs, for the State Farm Arson Dog program, but wanted to understand more about the lives of police dogs and their handlers. Having spent a few months attending training seminars and reading all I could about the subject, I started developing a successful web series called Guardians of the Night. The show was initially conceived to explore the state of police dog training in the United States, but it turned into much more. To understand the experience of handlers and their dogs, I had to experience it for myself, and the 5 years of being immersed in the daily lives of these brave officers and their dogs
Sample complete. Ready to continue?